We are gathered here today to talk about something that, okay, this is exciting for me. So the other day I went to a comic book store that is nearby where I live at. And for me, this is exciting because like I have not ever been to a comic book store before. But I was like, you know what? It's my time. I feel like comic books is something that I wanted to get into for a very, very, very long time. And I just never really had the opportunity to actually check out any in the area. And a lot of times I feel like, for me, especially somebody who's not really familiar with comics, I feel like, I guess a lot of times you think about comics, you think about like just superheroes like Marvel, DC. After watching some people on YouTube, and seeing that it's like obviously like there'll be different types of comic books that aren't just about superheroes, but I didn't really think about that, right? And so like for me, my goal in going to comic book stores is to explore more comics that are outside of like the normal like, DC or Marvel or superheroes type of genre, right? And it's not that there's anything wrong with it. For me, it's just like there's a lot of them, there's a lot of different variants, there's a lot to those. And I feel like I probably spend a lot more money trying to keep up with everything. And it's just not really my interest, if that makes sense. I feel like I got my fix on that when I was a kid. I used to read like a lot of the Marvel comics. There's like a lot of different like storylines. This is too much to catch up on, and not catch up on, but like keep track of. Now I am interested in more X-Men storylines or comics, maybe Fantastic Four, but as far as like any other stuff, like not really. Probably maybe some DC comics would probably pique my interest, but my main thing is finding more like different types of comic book stories and different book series or comic series that a lot of people don't really talk about or are talking about, but they're just not the norm of like what you would typically see like with a comic book basically. But going in, I did not get any footage because it was my first time there. I was kind of nervous. I was by myself, so I didn't record anything, but when I go back I will be recording. But it's a really cool store that had a lot of different options. I had some pictures of some comic books that I seen that I wanted to get, but I wasn't really sure about, so I just took pictures so I don't remember what they were. But as of right now, I only got 4 so far, so I wanted to start off small. I didn't want to go too crazy, just wanted to test out a few things that seemed to pique my interest. But going in, I wanted to find a Predator comic book. That was a big one. I love Predator. I really want to get into the comics. So Predator, and I was also trying to find like a unique story series of comics that I could get into, as well as some type of sci-fi something. I wasn't really too sure, just something that would be kind of interesting. So yeah, Star Trek as well. I wanted to find some Star Trek comic books, as well as some Star Wars comic books comic books as well. Those seem really interesting. So that was my top 4 things that I was looking for going into the comic book store. And so so I think this is the first one that I came across. It's called Bitter Root, and if you look at that, and this is the back of it. I really love it. Okay, so it looks really cool. I thought it was really interesting that there are black characters as well. Of course I'm gonna look at it. I mean, come on. So it looked really nice. It looked very interesting as well. It kind of like it was gonna be kind of spooky in a sense. It was kind of giving me, dang, what's that? I can't believe I just went through, you know what I'm talking about, the black movie that came out with Michael B. Jordan. I forgot what the name of it, if it is. My mind's just going blank on it, but it kind of gave me that vibe. But like even the artwork, it's typical, comic book designs, but look pretty cool. I haven't read this one yet, but it looks interesting. I think from the story it's supposed to be about I guess like a black family that I guess I think they have some type, it's kind of like they kind of give off like monster zombie hunters or like that type of thing. I guess they're like a family of like hunters who hunts monsters. So I got this one. I think this is like the first one of a collection that they have, and so I wanted to start off with this because it looked interesting, it looked pretty cool, and I was like, let me try it out and see what I think. And I haven't read it yet, but it looks interesting. Of course, I did end up walking away with a Predator comic book, something that I was looking for. It's the only one that I saw, though. I didn't see any more. But this is the one that I found. It's the first edition to this particular story. And this is the back of it. Yep. So there's 2 different covers for that. I forgot what the word is or the term is for that. But I chose this cover because I just felt like it was so cool, pretty interesting. The other one was a little bit... wasn't a fan of it, so I got this one. But it's really cool. This one I already read it. I love it. It's more so about like fighters who are being recruited to get, I guess, fight for like these billionaires, these people with big money. So they're kind of flown out to a facility or a base that nobody's aware of to fight, and I guess people bid and whatever, and they give money. And as you can probably be aware of, that's a perfect spot for a predator to go and do what it needs to do. So you can kind of guess how it starts off, but it's really good. Actually, I really enjoyed it. I think the next one comes out, I think later this month, if I'm not mistaken. And there's also another one in here called Alien Kingkiller, and I kind of want to check this one out. It's going to be the first one. It comes out April 2026, so next month. And I think I'm definitely going to try to look out for this one to be able to get this one. I'm like huge Predator, Alien, Xenomorph, fan. So like I feel like, this is right down my alley. I definitely get some of the older Predator books as well that kind of focuses on like actual like Predator lifestyle and like those different stories. Big Mama is one of the ones I really want to get into. Some of the more female Youches, I seem pretty, badass. I want to check those out. But yes, this one, love it. It's really interesting. Very good start to something. I'm just glad I found a start of something like a Predator story, so I didn't have to like try to find the first edition or anything. So yes, got that one. Very happy to have that. First one I read, really good. I rated 8 out of 10 so far. This one I had seen, I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it or not. I was like, not too sure, but it looked interesting. Like flipping through it, this is what it looks like. Now this is an award-winning comic as well. This is won some awards. So I was like, it's got to be good because it's won awards. This is what the back looks like. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Pretty cool. Artwork looks pretty nice. This one, I've seen mixed reviews because I wasn't sure if I wanted to get it. I probably put this down like twice and went back to it, and I was like, what, I'm kind of curious. I've seen mixed responses on it because I looked it up on the internet, and I seen some mixed reviews, and I was like, what, I wasn't sure if I wanted to spend my money on it. Like maybe I could find something else to replace it with, but I was like, what, out of curiosity, I'll get the first edition. If I don't like it, then it's whatever, but at least I tried it. It's supposed to be like very it's very visual. It shows a lot of nudity and different things, also some violence as well, some gore, of course. And so this one is very much for the mature eye, for the mature audience. But I did see some interesting reviews on it. I also kind of found the characters look kind of interesting as well. Like you have like this fairy looking lady on there, this I don't know what he's supposed to be, like some type of half goat guy or whatever, I don't know, but it looked interesting, and I was like, okay. And I guess it's supposed to be about, of course, them trying to, it's giving kind of Romeo and Juliet, like a forbidden love, and they're trying to like find somewhere to go to be safe, and there's probably all this other stuff going on as far as like trying to of course find somewhere to live that's safe, but then also having to fight off things along the way, or maybe being chased by certain people. I don't know the exact storyline per se. I've read about what people have said about it on the internet. Pretty interesting. They had like a bunch of them. They had like a book with the whole volume 1 on it or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't know the terms for that. I know there's like a term for like when they have like multiple in like one book or whatever. I don't really know how to explain it, but I went with this one. But yeah, it looks interesting. I mean, some people were not very satisfied with how it ended for some reason, but I guess I will find out the more that I read more. If I like it, I'm gonna get volume 2 and then go on from there. But yes. All right, anyways, the next thing that we have is this one right here. And this is so beautiful. When I saw it, I was like, not really too sure. It looks really girly. It looks like it's probably not going to be my thing. But I got it because I just could not ignore the artwork. And when I opened it and I looked at it, I was like, look, I got to check it out and see what it's about. And also just seeing the story looked like it was probably going to be an interesting story as well to get into, not just the art in of itself. But just like looking at the book, there's so much detail that was put into this, so much detail, so much thought, so much intentionality. Like this whole book is just beautiful. Like, oh my God. I'm just going to show you guys a few pages. And need I say, absolutely beautiful. I couldn't resist. I had to get it. And this is actually, I didn't realize it, but it's actually based off of an Aboriginal, like it's that the character from this is Australian Aboriginal, and I feel like that was so cool because I feel like we don't really get to, for me as an American, haven't really seen a lot of stories being told about the Aboriginals, and just seeing more of their stories and seeing more characters and things, Aboriginal characters and stuff like that. And so I really love this. So the main character is Australian Aboriginal. Well, it's actually, the setting is in Australia, but I just thought that was so cool, and so that made me love this even more. And I did start to read it. I think I got maybe a quarter into it, and so far I'm enjoying the story. Oh my gosh, it's so immersive. Like, you can watch it, as you read it, it feels like you're actually, you can visualize it in your mind. It's like a movie, and the way that everything is illustrated is you can feel and you understand that every single thing that was drawn was intentional. It was just amazing. I love it. It's very immersive. You know what they're trying to do when they illustrate this story, these different parts, these different things. It's just so cool. I love it. I think there's one part in here where they kind of show you when somebody's on a phone, they have this cool little bubble thingy. I don't know. I just love this whole thing. It's just so much thought, so much intentional detail, and it's just so colorful. It's so pretty, and it's wow, I feel like I'm watching a movie reading this. It's reading through it. It feels like I can actually feel this moving, it's movement, and I love that. In color as well, as I already said. Anyways, so it's basically just about a girl who has powers, and I'm guessing so far I think one of her other friends has powers as well. And it's an interesting story. Basically, it's kind of there's a villain, there's an antagonist, but before they introduce the antagonist, they kind of establish the character first, kind of taking us through her life a little bit, her working with her parents, her family at a bakery that they have. She goes around, and she's interesting. It's an interesting story, and the antagonist is also pretty interesting as well. The story is interesting to me. It's I don't really know everything that's going on right now because it's I'm only a quarter through, but even now I'm kind of curious as to what's going to happen with the antagonist. I don't know, the storytelling is immaculate. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So not only is it very nice to look at, but it's also a great story that I'm finding interesting to follow along with. And I must say, this is probably my favorite one so far. I know I haven't read 2 out of the 4 that I have, but so far this is definitely my favorite. And I think I'll probably rate this a 9 out of 10 so far. I'm reading it, and it's I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying this. I just gotta give a shout out to the author, the artist, everybody who's behind this. It's really cool. I know it looks very girly, and somebody but I really do appreciate the book. They did a great job on that. Anyways, so this is supposed to be a little short video. I know it's kind of sloppy all over the place, not really a lot of detail or anything, probably rambling a lot, but I just wanted to kind of share that. I'm not sure what channel I'm gonna put this video on, but regardless of the channel, I do want to make more vlogs, kind of go out and looking at comics if I do that. Not anything too crazy, just short videos in between the longer form videos. Just kind of finding new comic books, different things like that, and I just feel it'll be fun. I don't know, I'm kind of a nerd that way. So yeah, I'm a beginner comic book collector, if you should put it that way, but only of comics, of course, that I find interesting and that I want to follow along with. So this is where I started, and I think I spent 30 something on these 4, but regardless, not too shabby. I'm not mad at it. If I went to Barnes and Noble, I was spending so much more, but yes, so far so good, and honestly, can't complain. Stay tuned for more, because I probably will be going out and getting more comic books soon after I finish these right here. I'll also show you guys some of the other ones that I have, probably just some pictures. I definitely found a Star Trek one and also a Star Wars one, but I didn't get a Star Wars one because I kind of wanted to look into it first before I invested any money. Just because I want to make sure that I wasn't starting off at a point where they already been I didn't want to miss out anything in the story. And I think this one was called Star Wars: The High Republic. That one looked good, but I think that wasn't the first one, so I didn't get it. But it did look kind of interesting, so I was gonna look into finding out what the first volume is, so that way I could start from the beginning. Then there was Astro City. I liked that one. It looked pretty interesting. This is a very thick book, so this had a lot in it. But this basically is kind of like Marvel, but not Marvel. It's just kind of a different, completely different thing. It's not Marvel, but it's also just superheroes, and that's the reason why I didn't go with this one, because it's kind of okay, this is kind of what I'm trying to avoid, but it's interesting to where I wouldn't mind grabbing it at some point. The artwork looked interesting, the stories look like it's going to be pretty interesting as well. So yeah. Then there was, I think there was, the Star Trek one that I found. That one was not the first volume, which is why I didn't get it. I think this was like, oh yeah, volume 5. So I didn't want to get it because it was only part 5, and like I said, I didn't want to start like, in the middle of anything, but it looks really good. So I'm gonna look at finding out what the earlier volumes are, so I can grab those and start from there. So I would say this trip was a win, honestly. So I found a lot of different things that were interesting to me, and I can't wait to build off of that and find more to get into. If you guys have any recommendations, put it down in the description below, and I will check it out. Like I said, I'm sorry, I know this video is all over the place. I did not prepare for this. It's kind of like I wanted to share it because I was excited, but yeah. Anyways,